I wanted to talk about something called shadow. Have you ever heard of it? It's a principle based in Carl Jung's Jungian psychology. So I want to talk about it. Stay tuned. So last week I was talking about conditioning. So if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you begin with that one. So growing up, when we are kids, we are supposed to be compliant to the adults or caregivers, right, in our life, because we need to survive. So whatever they tell us that's not acceptable, but for us, we want to express, or things that are part of us and we are told that it's unacceptable, we suppress this and we send it to the unconscious because it's unacceptable. So we are told that we need to follow their rules, right? And we want to be accepted. Our survival is dependent on it. So we hide parts of ourselves, things that we identify with, feelings, expressions, thoughts, desires that are not acceptable are sent to the unconscious. And this is what Carl Jung called the shadow. Remember, when we're growing up, we don't think. We navigate the world through feelings until we're 8. As we are growing up, we start to want to express these things about ourselves or about our life or our dreams. And because of these rules, we start to suppress or repress them. What we have to be very careful is that what happens is when we suppress, we deny our own experience, feelings and emotions, this is not healthy because two things will happen. We will suppress or repress. So when we suppress, we are denying that we feel what we feel. We are invalidating ourselves, our own experience. It's like you're having pain, but you're not going to acknowledge it. You're going to hide. You're going to hide it, and you're not going to pay any attention to it. And repress is when we are unconsciously not acknowledging it and it's sent to the unconscious. We deny our pain without even being aware that we are denying our own experiences. The dangers of doing any of these two is that they become our shadow. They become something that is filtered through our brain and then we send to the unconscious. Sometimes we're not aware. And I highly recommend you read Incognito, The Secret Lives of the Brain, because it explains how we think we're operating from our consciousness right now, but really we're operating from the unconscious. The unconscious is doing all the work. So what happens when we suppress or repress these things, they become our shadow because we think by denying them, denying our experiences, they're not going to sabotage us, but they end up being exactly that. They end up being recreating the hamster wheel. It's like patterns or things that you do that you're not aware of that keep you reliving the same mistake, the same hurtful experiences, the same toxic relationships. So if something in your life keeps showing up, it's like, why do I keep running into this? Why does this keep happening to me? Instead of thinking you're a victim of your story, start asking yourself, maybe this is a clue to something that I need to face. Maybe this is a clue of a trigger. Maybe this is a clue to my pain. It's trying to come out. It wants to be acknowledged. That's why nothing's going to stop happening. You think that by suppressing and repressing, you are going to avoid pain, but this is a shortcut. It's just going to bring more. It's just going to keep repeating itself until you face it. And one example of this, when I was very young, I was in a very restricted environment with all these rules, and I felt oppressed. I couldn't wait to be 18 to liberate myself and be free and make my own decisions. But what did I ended up happening is that my shadow showed up in my 20s. So what happened? I ended up, I got out of it, right? First, I wanted to get out, and I had a job. I was making, not a lot of money, but just enough and a little extra. So I was doing okay. I was free. I had my own apartment, my own car. But what did I do? Because when these shadows are not faced, they will manifest. When you unconsciously, you will manifest the same circumstances of the past. So what happened to me? I ended up making decisions, behaviors, patterns, beliefs, all of this played a role, and I ended up recreating circumstances so I will be again oppressed, again unable to do things. I sabotaged everything, and I was again feeling like that teenager again. And that's when I had my awakening. When everything went to shit again, I realized, what's the common denominator here? What's repeating? What's making me be again oppressed? How did I recreate this story again? And that's when I started to face my shadow. I was able to see my patterns, beliefs, and behaviors that were not aligned to where I wanted to be. So what happens is that we want to, let's say, we're trying to grow. So we are here, and then things start to get better, right? We're progressing. But our shadow, we haven't addressed our pains and these things. So when we're here, we feel uneasy. We feel in danger. Oh no, I'm too happy. Oh, this is too calm. I need some drama. I need some chaos again, right? Because that's all we have known. So we recreate problems and situations, of course, unaware, and to bring ourselves back to where we are. So that's how it works. Sometimes our shadow, we know what it is. We know it's something weird, it's hurting us, but we can't stop it, right? It's kind of like, oh, I know this is not right, but I just can't stop it. So I challenge you to face your pain, to find clues in your pain, because it's going to just keep showing over and over again in your life until you do. There's no shortcut. A lot of people end up facing their shadow until they have hit rock bottom, until they're again repeating the story of the past again. So when things start going terribly wrong again, ask yourself, maybe this is a good thing. It's pointing me to stop doing this. Maybe this is the time to stop doing that thing. This is pointing me to a new direction. This is forcing me to make a change. It's about time to make that change. Remember, it's never too late to change the story of our lives.